Christian Union program of a fellowship program is important training for anybody who is in charge of a fellowship or a group of people who intend to achieve certain purposes that they came together to achieve. And I think it's a very important thing to think about, how to prepare up the program. Again, the first step in preparing a program is to remind yourself why your group exists, why the fellowship exists. For example, we said in a college or a high school, the Christian Union exists in order to produce mature Christians into society by the time they finish their program of study. You not only have a degree, you not only have a certificate, they'll also be mature Christians whom God can use in society as they go into the rest of their life. That's what you are hoping to achieve through it. So it then means that when you are preparing your program, that's what you are preparing your program to achieve. It has a purpose. So you don't, anything that will appear in that program must be something that is trying to help you to achieve that. We also say that the mission or how to achieve that vision is number one, through outreach, getting the rest of the population of the school to get to know who Jesus is. And then the other thing we said is that getting those who have accepted Jesus to grow, to be discipled. Then he said, in addition to those two, which are the critical thing, you must be of necessity create opportunities for fellowship, to handle issues of loneliness, good company. You understand clearly what 1 Corinthians 15:33 is saying, that bad company spoils good morals. You are creating opportunity for people to have good fellowship. And finally, you are training them in leadership to be people that will influence others in society. So you therefore, as you are preparing your program, that's what is the background of what you are doing. So are you clear what the vision and mission of your group is? But I think you also need to be clear about the core values of your organization. Core values and non-negotiable convictions that you as a group believe that's a no-go zone. They are so serious that you would rather fail to achieve your purpose rather than break those. So you are willing to go to your purpose, but only within the boundaries of those convictions. That's what we call the core values. There may be other values, but they are not core. We are only talking about the core values. And they need to be clear in the mind of the people preparing a program. That means a person who doesn't have your values will not be allowed to participate in that program, except as a listener. But to actually be somebody who will stand in front of people either as a speaker or as a leader of the program, you're not welcome if you don't have our values. Even if you are the most gifted on that topic, we still will not invite you if you don't have our values. And that will be something that is important. All these are the things you have to verify and remind yourself each time you are preparing a program, so that they are at the back. They are no longer at the back of your mind. They are at the front of your mind as you start asking, what is the program for next semester? Or what is the program for next term? What do we put on the program? That is something that will be very, very important. Having done that, the next thing is to ask yourself, what are the barriers, current barriers, that are stopping the people becoming the type of mature Christians we envisage? So you look at what are the issues that we are currently going. And it's normally a brainstorming session. Before you can prepare a program, you need this brainstorming session. What are the challenges and the issues? Maybe you have heard of several people backslide what is causing that backsliding. Maybe as people are giving testimonies, you have discovered a certain weakness or a certain shortcoming. You need to agree as a group of leaders what are the current challenges, current issues that people are going with, and that if you truly want to achieve your purpose, you need to handle those barriers, those challenges, those gaps. It is when you have listed all of them down, you start asking, what is the overriding theme? What is all these issues, if you check, you start seeing there is a thread going through the current issues. That thread is starting to lead you to the theme of your semester. In other words, you will cover various topics, but there is one particular theme you are trying to achieve throughout the semester. And you need to agree what that theme is. And it is drawn out of that brainstorming of the issues available, and then looking over them, prioritizing them to see what the main issue actually is. Maybe the main issue is the one causing the smaller issues. So instead of just in the theme, you are not dealing with the smaller issues. You are dealing with the overall theme that they have an issue. They have an issue with. So once you agree the theme, you are now ready to go through the topics. So you start asking yourself, how many meetings are we likely to have within that semester? And are there some of the meetings that are already predetermined so that they are not available for dealing with the theme because they are predetermined? Maybe the school has an activity on them. You actually fill them in, whatever those issues are. Then you now can see clearly what are the meetings. And this is true whether you are talking about your Sunday service meeting or the main fellowship meeting, the Christian main meetings. Once it's clear, then you now ask yourself, so we have about 10 topics we have to deal with. So you now look at that theme and see what, if we were to have to say we have covered the theme, what are the issues that might be dealt with? Those issues, you feel and normally the best thing is to see them as questions. If those questions were answered, the barriers and the challenges we are going through will be dealt with. So, agree what those questions are, that then can. And once let's repeat this. So the first thing is discuss what the issues that need to be dealt with are. What are the underlying challenges that you actually have to tackle within that semester that would help your fellowship to realize its vision. What is the vision? To produce a mature Christian by the end of his program in that college or in that school. Now, so what are the current issues that they need to deal with? And that gives you the theme. But the other thing is, you may have something you are trying to cover in the 4 years, and you have already decided, like a syllabus, that year 1, this is what we will need to cover. Year 2, this is what you need to cover. Year 3, year 4, this is to cover. Then year 1, you are back to starting those issues because you know the people that are now in first year were not there the last time you dealt with that issue. And you need to have such things that you know these ones. And those are some of the things I was saying when you are doing your program. You need to agree there are some stuck things that have to be done. So, and you need to deal with. So what are those issues that must be done throughout the 4 years? And sometimes it's this may be issues to do with a survey of the scriptures. Maybe you need to talk to people about why the Bible is the word of God, the authority of the scriptures. Maybe you need to talk to people about principles of interpretation of scriptures. And maybe you only need to do that once a year. You repeat it. it's a way of introducing them to the importance of going for a conference that deals with it, like the Focus one called Ezra Conference. You show them the importance. So all that has to be agreed before you now are left with your topics, and you know now I can only do 10 topics, and the topics are trying to ensure that that issue, which you are calling the theme of the semester, is fully dealt with. Once the theme of the semester is dealt with, is understood, and you divide it up to those, now you have topics. Once you have the topics, the topic needs to be put in a language that will be attractive. But whereas when you are advertising it among the students, you will use the catchy phrase. To the speaker whom you are inviting, you must write at least not less than 3 questions that are within that main question or that topic, so that your speaker will be coming to answer a question. Don't leave him to imagine what the issues are. It is not enough to tell somebody, come and talk on productivity. He might assume productivity is something to do with being working hard, being an active student, and ensuring you are passing your exams. Whereas what you wanted in productivity is witnessing. So a phrase is meaningless, and it's okay to attract the listeners, but the speaker must not be given just a catchy phrase. He must be clear what topics. If you are not ready to tell the speaker what the issues he's coming to deal with are, then don't give him a topic. Let him come and speak on whatever, because whatever topic you give him, if it's not explained, he might interpret it totally differently from the way you met it. And it's not because it's a bad person. He doesn't know what is in your mind. So you must be clear on the topic and what are the questions that are within that topic. Once now that is done, so you have a theme. You have checked whether the theme is in line with the vision and mission of your fellowship. Number 2, you have ensured that the recurring topics or recurring activities have been inserted where they should. Number 3, you now know how many spaces you have to cover your theme. And then you have actually now covered your theme by breaking it down to topics. Then those topics have been turned into questions which can be sent to actually speakers. So you have a program, except that you don't actually have speakers for that program. And that will be something that will be important if you are going to say you have actually a program. There are people with programs who don't spend a lot of time on it. It's just what you had somebody else speaking. It may be a good topic, but is that the need of the people in your Christian union at this time? Is it really their need? However, my suggestion to you is that in all this, you have to do it in prayer. You cannot. Programming is one of the most important responsibility of the committee, because it's one of the major strategies of ensuring that you meet the reason why the Credo exists. And so my suggestion would be, you can even have special time of prayers before you prepare the program, and prepare the people for the day that you are going to discuss it, so that they know in advance, pray about it, think about it, and that will help them. And I think that will be something that will help them to come prepared. So prayer is a very, very critical thing. But I think the other thing is involvement of advisors. If there are issues that are in the CU, you can consult other people to tell you what kind of questions could we ask somebody to speak that would help deal with this problem. For example, issue of backsliding. Somebody older, your CU patron or some advisor, could help you know the kind of topic that would help, and the kind of questions that would help. That way you end up with a much better program that will really help you to realize your vision.